What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel, bringing you something a little bit different today. We're actually be doing some replay analysis. Fizz recently received some pretty substantial changes to make him more fitting in the jungle, and my teammate Doom has been recently testing it out. We're going to be taking a look at this game today, where he was playing jungle Fizz, had a really great game. I'm also on Aurelia, but, I was learning in this game. We're not going to focus on it. Maybe that'll be another video. But either way, we're just going to take a look at jungle Fizz. See how he plays it, see how it performs, and yeah, see how this new pick is working in the current meta. So let's get into it.
Welcome to Wild.
So off the bat here, we see starting with the Amp Tome, pretty standard. Obviously, he's gone for the Electrocute this game. I believe his other runes are Brutal, and I think he has Mastermind still, but not sure what he's gone for Resolve in this game. Getting an early ward down. Let's just zoom out a little bit. Getting an early ward down there. He always likes to go for this ward. Always puts it aggressively on the top side of mid lane. Likes to give his mid laner some information, I guess. Gonna be starting on the red buff. So you're gonna see here he's starting with his second ability. This gives him that auto attack reset. Helps him clear the jungle just a little bit faster. The Fizz passive here, obviously, the part that got buffed is the damage over time portion. Clearing this jungle a lot faster than he would be in the past. A little bit of a shorter leash here, because obviously he's on the Baron lane side. Can't get as much value. Baron then has to get to the minions, so unlike, going on the dual lane side, you don't get as much of a assist when it comes to your first buff, but, he's going to do the best that he can. So obviously this clears a little bit slower. Taking our third ability at level 2, so we can clear through these camps a little bit faster. Going to be tagging this vision plant here as we path towards the top side, Actually gonna decide to go for a blue invade. I think we know that Lee Sin's at the top side because of where the dual lane was playing. So he's actually gonna go for the blue invade here. I think we saw Lee Sin in the river as well a little bit earlier, so naturally we're looking at like a vertical jungle kind of change. Like instead of pathing horizontally, he's gonna assume that Lee Sin is going for his blue. So he's just gonna change his mind and path towards the enemy blue instead. Looking for a gank here on this Riven. Just coming in, we've got the red buff, so we're going to save our cooldowns. Riven's going to flash, and it's an easy kill. That's first blood. Electrocute damage coming in pretty handy there. Just a lot of patience, A lot of Fizz's ganking in the early game is not super powerful. It's a lot around that red buff. So you're just going to want to walk up to the enemy laner, Just try and get them to blow their cooldowns so you can save kind of your first ability and your third ability to chase them down. Once they've already kind of committed their escapes. You saw he waited for Riven's flash, and then he still had the abilities. Actually passed over towards his blue here. Lee Sin was a bit slow at doing it, and we actually find him. Yeah, I think Fizz just wins this duel, honestly. He's actually a really great duelist, but he's going to flash over the wall, going to get that kill on the Lee Sin. Getting a little bit low here, is going to escape with the third ability on really low HP, and everybody's going to get out. And this is one of those things about Fizz that really makes him scary as kind of like this jungle, is he's so hard to pin down. Like you saw he took a lot of damage there, but he waits until the perfect moment to get that escape, jumps out, and he's completely fine. Like absolutely no issues at all. It's so much survivability on this champion between his flash, his third ability, like even just the mobility of his first ability. He's dashing around the map, heading off everywhere. We see here that some losers on his team have died, but we're looking to pick up some kills on the back end. Throws the ultimate into Fog of War and catches the Katarina. That's another one. And once you get 5, guys, you really just turn on this ganking prowess. The Fizz ultimate for Fog of War is so scary. So like, even though your early ganks aren't that strong, once you get level 5, pretty much every time the ultimate is up, you're gonna see Doom looking for one of these ganks. He's gonna be like roaming around to side lanes, trying to time it with his ultimate, picking up camps in between, obviously. Like, he's a very consistent player. Like, if you look at Doom play jungle, he's always farming and playing optimally, trying to path towards, like, the next lane he wants to gank or the next area he wants to go. But he's always thinking in his mind, like, okay, I have 30 seconds on my ultimate, I'm gonna clear 2 camps, I'm gonna recall, and then I'm gonna path towards the next lane I want to gank. He's always kind of, like, planning out his routes in advance, and you can really see that in his gameplay. Take a look at his items here. He's rushing straight for that death cap. Does pick up the boots in between, but yeah, just going straight for the death cap. It's basically the most damage you can buy straight away. Probably the most efficient choice you can make. So he's just rushing straight for it. Catching the crab on respawn here. Always gonna make sure if you are jungling to be looking for those crabs. Picking that up. That's it. So that's the second respawn. If you're not familiar, first jungle clear. There's a crab on either side, and then from then on it randomly appears on one side. So So as soon as you have this momentum advantage, you know, Doom knows he can beat this Lee Sin whenever he finds him, because he's so far ahead of the game right now already. Like, if we just take a look at, I guess, the overall gold, you know, we could already see that he's over 1,000 gold ahead of the Lee Sin. So he's just constantly, like, looking for opportunities to fight. A little fight brewing here in the mid lane. Ultimate comes out, lands on Lee Sin, just looking for some damage on the Janna. Popping her so fast, and that damage at the time's gonna pick it up. Huge Yasuo here. Double kill for the Fizz. Braum passive coming out on the Riven. It's gonna keep looking for this dive. Triple kill, does fall down. Didn't quite have that third ability to escape. Is gonna get the death cap already. Before even 5 minutes, he's already got that full death cap completed. First dragon still hasn't been taken. But the mid tower is gonna go down. See if he's got the boot upgrade yet. Yeah, he actually already has cooldown boots as well. So he's already got 5,000 gold worth of items. He's got 1,000 GPM right now, like just getting so much value from these skirmishes, and he's really just pushing that lead wherever he can, making sure to keep up with his camp farming, trying to keep his camps on cooldown as often as possible. Team isn't quite ready to go for the dragon yet, so he's just farming in between while the enemy team kind of sets up, wastes some time. He's just getting like, so much gold ahead of the game. You see that ultimate's almost coming up again. Riven going for the engage. He's just going to be hitting frontline here. Taking a lot of damage, but he's still really safe. He has all those abilities. Throws the ultimate after them. Does flash out to barely live. Hoping the team will win this one. Looks like they may have enough damage. Oh no. That's a quadra kill for the enemy Katarina. Kind of an unfortunate beginning. Took a lot of damage at the start. Is able to survive because of that slipperiness and all those cooldowns I mentioned earlier, but unfortunately the whole team does fall. But he does manage to preserve, you know, his own life. Immediately back out on the map. That ultimate's halfway up again. The cooldown is so short. Once you get these cooldown boots and you get level 9, level 13, you know, the cooldown gets so low on this ultimate, so you can be just constantly looking for engages. It's kind of reminiscent of like Zed, I guess, with Deathmark. Like, everybody says that Stasis is a great counter to Fizz, but in the mid-late game, the cooldown gets so low that you can just start fishing for those Stasis all the time. And it's pretty much, you know, everybody has to press the defensive cooldown or they're just going to die to this Fizz combo. Taking the dragon here, great zoning from Braum. Ultimate goes out, does not land on the Janna, but we're going to chase anyway. Bromo comes out, but we do get knocked out by the tornado. Janna is going to flash away. Not quite able to catch her there, but it was very close. You know, you see just forcing these flashes so easy. So much mobility on this Fizz. And you see he's totally kept up with his farming speed as well. Like, once you get a lot of ranks in that third ability, he's clearing these camps very effectively. Lots of pretty early damage, especially with that passive damage buff. He's just, you know, clearing through these camps really cleanly. No worries at all with keeping up and farm. So you could definitely see how Fizz is able to kind of like jungle a lot more effectively post changes, you know. Team's starting the rift out here. He's going to head on over. Just make sure that Smite is there for the objective. Always trying to make sure he's near the objectives when they're being contested. Team's looking for an engage here. Ultimate not quite up yet, but we're just going to burst down the river. Another kill. Sitting pretty already at 6, 1, and 5. Part of 11 out of 15 kills. Gonna be taking the enemy blue. Just trying to control as much of the enemy jungle as we can. Taking the enemy's Gromp. You really want to do this when you're ahead. Just try and safely deny as many of the enemy camps as you can. Because not only are you gaining the gold then, but they're also missing out on that gold every rotation, you know? Every time that you take the enemy's blue jungle, that you basically are a blue jungle ahead of them, right? Because you got those 2 camps and they didn't get 2 camps. So the gold swing is even bigger than it looks. There's gonna be split pushing here. You know, you notice the team is fighting on the map. He's not gonna go all the way across the map to go fight them, because he's already, you know, too far away, you know? So he's just gonna play bot side, pick up these waves, try and pressure the tower. Riven's gonna come down and defend us, sadly. So we won't be able to get that. Got the quick recall with the Herald if we want, but we do have the blue buff, so we can stick around, regenerate, make sure to catch this wave. You know, don't want to give Riven the tower for free. So he's making sure to clear the wave before he bases. Probably doesn't want to fight here. I think he's sitting on a lot of gold. So we're just going to go ahead and recall. Pick up that Lich Bane. Also got a Blasting Wand on top. Haven't gone for the enchantment yet, I believe. We'll probably see him going for the Stasis in this game if he does go for one. But he hasn't decided to go for it yet, because he's just so far ahead in gold, you know? If you take a look at that kind of like gold again, you see he's 4,000 gold ahead of Lee Sin in this game, you know? And it's not just one decision that kind of put him there. It's kind of a lot of the decisions that he made. Ultimate's gonna come out, does tag the Riven, and just look at this damage. There's the electrocute, literally just one-shot combo. Like, at this point in the game, you know, he's gonna be always looking for those plays, because he knows he can just take down anybody on the map. So you'll see him positionally aggressively, looking for these flanks, always trying to get the ultimate onto an important target from Fog of War. Pick up another Scuttle Crab, just accelerating that lead even more. 9k gold lead for the team at this point, and half of that is just Doom in this game compared to Lee Sin. So just an insane advantage, you know. And yeah, like I said, it all comes down to all these little things. Taking the enemy camps, making sure you're there for that crab respawn, finding the right ganks, you know, when you have a good timing. Ultimate almost up again. It's basically like 40 seconds at this point. Like, honestly, guys, it gets kind of insane how low the cooldown can get sometimes. You can just throw out those ultimates constantly. Just always be looking for picks. You see here, aggressive positioning, clearing more of the enemy's camps. He's spending more time at this point in the enemy jungle than his own. Like, don't get caught up in your own jungle when you're ahead. You can just aggressively position on the map and farm the enemies. Like, there's no need to be safely farming your jungle when you could just aggressively deny the enemy gold. Herald being trapped in top lane here. We see a lot of the enemies down in bot. Throws the ultimate, picks up the kill there with some of the damage from Aurelia. Looking aggressively for enemies with that sweeper, looking for people over the wall. Going for the dive on Xayah here. So much damage. The ult is blown. Bromo comes out. They might find it. He is going to have to get out, but he's going to stick around and grab this tower, you know. He doesn't want to wants to make sure to get as much value as he can before he has to leave. Inhibit the tower very low. Is it going to drop? Is the Herald going to get it? Oh, barely, barely. So picks up that tower gold. Is going to get the recall here. Dragon spawning. Wants to make sure he's there in time. Here comes Lee Sin. Bit too much of an aggressive recall there. Gonna go for another one. Should be able to get this one off, I think. Yeah, is gonna get back to base. Picks up the Void Staff already. Very aggressive Void Staff here, you know. Dealing with any magic resistance the enemy might buy. You know, you see Mercury Treads on Katarina. There aren't many tanks in this game, so they're not really building MR, but either way, it's very efficient against melee champions to pick up the Void Staff already. Against, you know, a large majority of their team is like, you know, we got Lee Sin, we got Riven, we got Katarina. All of these champs have like quite high MR scaling, so the Void Staffs are very effective, and it's even quite efficient at this point as some squishier champions just with their natural MR gain. You could see him going for an Oblivion Orb maybe here against some squishier compositions, but this game, he is going to go for the Void Staff. Picks up the dragon, ultimate comes out, lands on the Xayah, kills the Lee Sin by accident. He didn't even mean to do that. He's just killing people, you know, without even intending to at this point. So much damage. Just the AoE was able to pick up the Lee Sin there. But honestly, at this point, you know, the team's so far ahead, and a large majority of it is because of his, you know, how much of an advantage he's built, finding these picks on the sides. You know, really showing the dominance that Fizz can kind of have on this patch, you know. When you don't have to worry about clearing lanes all the time as the mid laner, you can just focus way more on like these, getting these picks and playing aggressively and finding the duels that make Fizz really strong. Team's kind of trolling at the Nexus a bit here. We are going to get really low. We're jumping out with the third ability. Looks like Doom will be a survivor here. Throws out a shark to remember him by. Gonna get the recall off here. A little bit of trolling at the Nexus. You know, we do a little bit of trolling here. Is gonna pick up that Oblivion Orb now. Really effective against the Xayah and the Janet, specifically, like basically with Oblivion Orb plus Void Stuff, he's gonna be doing pretty much true damage to them. And obviously it helps a little bit against some of the tankier members too, but especially against those two, he's gonna be doing essentially true damage. Getting the sweeper here, clearing some wards. Always looking for these engages, you know? You see? Okay, a little bit of a mistake there. We won't talk about that one. Janet is gonna get away. And Lee Sin comes over the wall, he goes for the jump over. Looking very aggressively here. Shark comes out. Alright, we won't talk about, you know, it's getting a little bit trolly, but you can just see how much damage he does, you know. He didn't even land his ultimate on that Janna, and he still did 80% of her life with just, you know, that first ability, second ability combo. Just putting out so much damage, and he's just so far ahead of the game because of how great his parking has been. Great Bromo here to start the fight. He's just gonna follow up the damage. Instantly one-shot the Xayah, remove her from the game. Grabbing this blue buff, making sure we're topped up on mana. As his team pushes in through the bot side. Looks like it's just gonna be pretty clean. Another shark! It's already up, guys. I'm telling you, this cooldown is so low. Pops the Lee Sin. Was he ever even there? I don't know. That monk has vanished. Maybe he's gone on a retreat or something. Gonna be hitting the Nexus here. Looks like this is the end of the game. Just absolute, you know, super clean Fizz gameplay. You know, I think you guys can clearly see Fizz able to keep up in the jungle very easily. He was easily matching the pace of Lee Sin, and once he got that lead, you know, playing so aggressive, looking for all these picks. This champion has like so much river control now, you know, because nobody could duel him when he has his ultimate up, really. He's just so strong at that 1v1. So yeah, I hope this has inspired you guys a bit. Maybe you can give Fizz Jungle a try yourselves. I think it's a really solid pick on the patch. Doom's been playing it a lot, really making it work, and I hope this game showed you guys a little bit of why. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like. Really helps out the channel. You know, you can also consider subscribing for more videos like these. We got guides, we got daily uploads, all sorts of good stuff. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Peace.